Now, Donald Trump has announced an immediate end to all trade negotiations with Canada because of an advert that criticises his tariffs on the country. The advert, which is sponsored by the Government of Canada's Ontario province, quotes the former President Ronald Reagan saying that tariffs hurt every American. President Trump wrote on social media the advert was fake, adding that trade talks were hereby terminated. Well, here's a little bit of that ad that so enraged the president.
But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens.
Well, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney told reporters about a couple of hours ago his country is prepared to continue trade talks when the Americans are ready to actually return to discussions.
We can't control the trade policy of the United States. We recognize that that policy has fundamentally changed from the policy in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And it's a situation where the United States has tariffs against every one of their trading partners to different degrees. And it's in that context that our officials, my colleagues, have been working with their American colleagues on detailed, constructive negotiations, discussions on specific transactions, specific sectors, steel, aluminum, and energy. And a lot of progress has been made. And we stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions, because it will be for the benefit of workers in the United States, workers in Canada, and families in both of our countries.
Well, that was Mark Carney. Giles Gearson is the president and CEO of the Toronto Regional Board of Trade. I spoke to him earlier and he gave me his reaction to the breakdown of these trade talks.
We've had months of hard work and good faith negotiation, as you heard Prime Minister Carney mention, and it appeared that we were on the cusp of at least a partial set of arrangements around some critical sectors: steel, aluminum, and energy. With the rest still to come, we were hoping. So to see the progress stall out at this stage, this is not the first kind of termination that we've had, but to see it stall out at this stage is quite frustrating.
Yes, we will see if it's a short-term political tantrum or a long-term position. If it is the latter, take me through the consequences of not making progress on these key areas.
Well, we've had tariffs now in place for quite a few months, and we've been treated like every other country, as Prime Minister Carney said. The problem for us is that we have a deeply integrated economy with the United States. In Ontario, in particular, a large manufacturing economy, and it's tied directly into the U.S. manufacturing economy. Supply chains are deeply integrated. And that's taken place over the last 40 years. And ironically, since we're talking about President Reagan, it was under President Reagan that the free trade deal, the first free trade deal with Canada, was negotiated. I was a young reporter in Washington when that deal was negotiated. And we remember President Reagan as being, a free trader. And so this disrupting and trying to unravel this deeply integrated economy and supply chains is very costly. And so we're starting to see the costs in Ontario. We're seeing our steel industries lost half of its export market. Literally in the last several months, our auto industry is facing significant trade constraints and loss of sales and investment. We just seen a major auto plant in Ontario where the prospective model vehicle that was going to be produced there has been plucked out of that plant to be put into a U.S. plant in order to satisfy the requirements of the U.S. So this is having significant repercussions. I will say that our understanding is that what we're hearing from our members of the Board of Trade, our manufacturing members, is that their U.S. counterparts in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania are also feeling the brunt of tariffs as well.